God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Good evening. An alcoholic wandered into a tavern, saw a sign that read, "All you can drink $1," and said, "I'll have $2 worth." It takes something special to understand the alcoholic, and it takes a little something more special to help him get sober.
Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those, too, who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose, in a general way, what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have, and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. but we could not. With all of the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old idea, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, battling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures avail us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon.
Dear Lord, I admit that I am powerless over my addiction. I admit that my life is unmanageable when I try to control it. Help me to understand the true meaning of powerlessness. Remove from me all denial of my addiction.
Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
I was on Saturday afternoon, alone in the Mayflower Hotel at Akron, Ohio. I walked down to the lobby, strolled back and forth. At one end there was a plaque with the names of the various churches and preachers. At the other end of my beat there was a bar room. The bar room was filling up, and so was the people in it. And that buzz, so characteristic of bars, had a pleasant sound. Soon I found myself saying, well, perhaps I could go in there and have a drink of ginger ale
and possibly straight an appointment. Passed away this morning afternoon. And then I caught myself and thought, well, I have been restored to sanity. I can see I'm in danger. I walk over to the church directory again, thinking, well, now perhaps I had better find an alcoholic that I might talk to. Because at last, I see that I need such a person as much as he could possibly need me. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Many of us exclaim, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection.
Now, all of us in America and in Scotland and anywhere I've ever been in my life, everybody knows an alcoholic. That either they've worked for one, or they have one work for them, they have a parent or a sibling or a child. Everybody, there's not one of us that does a friend. God forbid some you poor people are married to them. You know what it's like. Now, I have found this. You can't beat it with money. If you could beat this rap with money, rich people would die. You can't. Because for me, only for me, and I only speak for myself, so I'm going to stress this to you, I have found that the only way I could deal with it is find other people who had similar experiences and talk to them. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost a thing. And they're very, very easy to find. They're very near the front of the telephone book.
God, I offer myself to Thee, to build with me and to do with me as Thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do Thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of Thy power, Thy love, and Thy way of life. May I do Thy will always.
I would call it a problem. It's now not a problem. I drank in search of happiness and in search of a lifestyle that I thought would bring me to happiness. It didn't. And I woke up one morning going, wow, I've drank a lot, but I'm still not happy. What's that about? And now we're about a year and a half later, and my life has turned around. Immensely, it's a wonderful thing. And I say to anybody watching or listening to this that it's there is a lot of pressure on young people not to drink necessarily, but to find happiness through going out and getting mashed, and that's fun, and you have a good time, and good luck to you. But if it doesn't work for you, and if you keep waking up going, I don't seem to be having nearly as good time as most of my friends, then think about it. It doesn't have to be something you do, is what I'd say to people. I think, in fact, that's one of the things that is most frustrating in a way, is the fact that there is such an expectation that we should all just be happy. And it doesn't matter if you're financially very, very well off and have I'm incredibly grateful for that and so unbelievably lucky. But at the same time, that doesn't solve all of life's problems. You know, there is still other stuff, and it's mainly just my own head. It's trying to, you know, I'm not going crazy one day at a time. You know, that's my mission at the moment.
I went to rehab with a lot of doctors and psychiatrists. The more intelligent you think you are, the harder it is to let go. You think, I got a solution. I'll just drink a little bit. It's like saying, I'll just partially circumcise myself. I'll be and then you have to go, nope, you lose. You can't do it. You need help. And at that point, that's the beginning.
I want to live a different life now. I want to live my sober life. I don't want to die. I'm on the verge of dying because I'm a vicious alcoholic. And I've been, wow. God, this is some interesting stuff. I had to drink 2 drugs in 6 days. And for me, that's a miracle. I've been lying to everybody else to think I'm sober. I'm not. It's my 6th day. I'm never going to use it again. When I start drinking and I relapse, I think of dying. You know, I'm in a real dark mood, I think of dying. And I don't want to be around anymore. Sometimes I don't want to live when I'm in that state. It's just really difficult to discuss. I don't know. I'm not experienced enough in my recovery to really pinpoint it. It's just a really dark moment in my life for us. If I get drunk, it's not the same.
You have been alcoholic. Actually, that's incorrect to say because alcoholics never say they were alcoholic. They say
That's
are
right.
alcoholic.
You're always an alcoholic.
Yeah.
They say they're recovered or recovering
Yeah.
alcoholics. I'd like to say one thing very important before I forget it. There are a lot of people dying from alcohol because the rest of us are enabling them to, because there's a stigma about that disease, as you probably know. And for centuries, they've been putting the blame on the character of the addict, and it's not so. There's no degeneration or loose morals or character defects in an alcoholic. It's a physical disease. An alcoholic has a certain metabolism of glandular setups that make them chemically adapt themselves to alcohol. And for them it is a stimulant, and it is calories, and it is food, and their bodies adapt to it. And it is a true addiction. It has nothing to do with the person not being mature enough not to drink too much. It's a true addiction, like heroin addiction.
Does that mean that you were destined to become an alcoholic at birth if you ever took a drink?
That's true. For me, it took many, many years as just a social drinker along with everyone else.
Yeah.
And of course, by the time I realized I was in trouble, I was too deluded.
I want to thank the chairman and the committees of AA and Al-Anon. I also want to thank my hostess, Karen. And I also want to thank Betty Ann, who helped me find my room. I had a horrible time finding my room. This is confusing. Well, anyhow, I didn't come here because there isn't anyone that I know here outside of Lois and Elsa. But I came here because Lois was going to be here. Lois came here because she thought I was going to be here. Now this is confusing too.
You know that your laughing here, your happy faces, is one of the greatest things I think there is in AA and our team, is the joy and the happiness that we receive by being together. It is a terrific thing to joint inspirations that we do here together, and the fun. The fun, I think, is a very, very important part that we get out of our three big A's. AA, our mortality.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.